We are in Teres Menachem Sefer Mamorim Tavshin Yud Aleph Tavshin Yud Beis and the Mamar of Simchas Torah Tavshin Yud Beis. Lehavin Inyan Simchas Torah. We're on page Kuf Nun, and we are 7 lines from the bottom, from the end of the paragraph. The line begins with the word Rak, or by the full stop, by the word V'zehu. So what are we discussing here? The Rebbe is explaining the pasuk in Yeshaya, which says, "Kol hanikra b'shmi v'lichvoidi b'rosev yitzartiv afasisiv." Everything that is called with my name and for my honor, I have created, I have formed, I even made. And the Rebbe explains that this pasuk, in the first section of the pasuk, "Kol hanikra b'shmi v'lichvoidi," there are 3 distinct things that the pasuk refers to. Kvoidi, Hashem's honor is Torah. As the Mishnah says in Pirkei Avos, Perek Vav, in the 3rd Mishnah, I think on the previous Shiur I mentioned that it's in the last Mishnah, which is a mistake. It's the 3rd Mishnah. Ein kavod ela Torah. When we say the word kavod, it's a reference to Torah. So Kvedi is Torah. Shmi refers to Hashem's name, Yud Kei Vav Kei. And as the Rebbe explained quite at length, Yud Kei Vav Kei refers to the 4 worlds, Atzilus, Bri, Yetzirah, Asiyah, and also to the 10 Spheres, right? The 10 divine attributes that are the building blocks, if you will, the central components that operate, the operating system, if you will, of each of the worlds. Hanikra bishmi, that which is called by my name, which denotes that it is higher than the name, at a higher level than the name, because just like if you talk about an example in the human being, there's the person and there's the person's name. So the person is higher, is beyond the name. So Nikra bishmi, what is called by my name, is something which is higher than the name. What is that? That's a reference to Neshamas Yisrael, the souls of Jews. Anything outside Hashem's essence or anything that is the idea of being revealed is already what's called Atzilus. It's near Hashem. It's, as it were, emanated from Hashem's essence. That is already within the confines of what could be categorized as Shmi, Shem. Neshamas Yisrael, the Neshamas of Jews are beyond that. So now the Rebbe comes to the punchline. This is the meaning, in this context, this is the meaning of what the pasuk says, everything that is called bishmi, by my name, or in my name. Sheneshamas Yisrael heim hamamshichim bechinas Hashem. It is the souls of Jews that actually draw down this idea, this level called Shem, Yud Kei Vav Kei. V'hainu. This means as follows. In Shem Havaya and Shem Yud Kei Vav Kei, there are different, when you say Yud Kei Vav Kei, not all the names are equal. They're all references to Hashem's name. But depending on the meaning of the word and the context of the word, and actually the vowelization of the name, of the word Yud Kei Vav Kei, that will denote which level of Yud Kei Vav Kei we're talking about. For example, I don't know if you noticed, but in a lot of the Sephardi Sidurim that have Kavonis, you have Yud Kei Vav Kei with different Nekudas. You could have Yud Kei Vav Kei with a segel under each letter, or a patach, or a kometz, right? The normal vowelization of Yud Kei Vav Kei is a shva under the Yud, a chaylam on top of the Vav, on top of the Hey, and a kometz under the Vav, right? Because it's Adoy, it's a, how do we pronounce it? Aleph Dalet Nun Yud, right? Or is it a patach under the yud? I don't recall. But anyway, there's a normal vowelization, right? Then there are, for example, in our Sidurim or Machzorim, you'll find it in the Kapitel Tehillim that we say on Yom Kippur night before we go to sleep. We say 4 Kapitel Tehillim, I think it is, and over there you have to be mechaven, you have to have in mind, I think it's Yud Kei Vav Kei b'nikut segel. under the yuds. What's the implication? The vowels are actually spheres. They're references to spheres. Different. I think the usual way of the way it appears is Kometz is Keser, Patach is Chochma. Where's the Siddur? Tzere is Bina, Segel is Chesed, Shva is Gvura, Cholam is Tiferes, Chirik is Netzach, Kubutz is Hoid. What do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I missed something. Keser, Chochma, Bina, Chesed, Gvura, Tiferes, Netzach, Hoid, Yisoid. Right. I believe that's the way it is. Okay? Or Chochma, Bina, Das, and so on and so forth. But each one of the Oisius, each one of the Nekudis, each one of the vowels, are a reference to Spheres. They're a reference to divine attributes. So when you say Yudke Vovke with this type of Nikud, with this type of vowelization, it's a reference to Yudke Vovke as it is, as the predominant Sphira is, for example, Chochma. Or the predominant Sphira would be, for example, Chesed. Right? That's the idea of Nikud.
There's 9.
Because we don't count, which one don't we count? Chochma, Chesed,
Das.
Chochma, we don't count Das. And what's with Malchus? I don't remember offhand. But the bottom line is that the Nekudis, when you vowelize Yudke Vovke with different vowels, it's a reference to Yudke Vovke as it presents itself through a specific Sphira, right?
Just, forgive me for interrupting, but like Kirik would be the logical one for Chochma. And the Kametz would be the logical one for Bina.
Okay, look, let's not go. I don't remember offhand, so I can't comment on that.
Not logical.
Well, it's a dot. Chochma.
I can't comment on it right now because I just don't remember the exact correlation of it all.
The dot is Keser.
There is also, as the Rebbe will say in a minute, there is Yud Kei Vav Kei without Nekudis, without any vowels whatsoever. That, in fact, as the Rebbe says later, not here, in another Maimon, the Rebbe says that is Keser. Yud Kei Vav Kei without any Nekudis, without any vowelization whatsoever, is Keser. In other places it says that Yud Kei Vav Kei with the vowelization of Kometz is Keser. And Yud Kei Vav Kei without Nekudis goes to Oiris of Shalif Neat Tzimtzum. Let's not get carried away with it. I don't remember it offhand, so let's just take it as said that when we say Yud Kei Vav Kei with Nekudis, with vowelizations, it's a reference to Yud Kei Vav Kei presenting itself and expressing itself through a specific sphere, a specific divine attribute, right? So the Rebbe says like this: when we talk about Yud Kei Vav Kei, that is Hashem's name, and that the neshama of a Yid is higher than that, is beyond that. Which level of Yud Kei Vav Kei are we talking about? Yud Kei Vav Kei as it is vowelized, Yud Kei Vav Kei, which Yud Kei Vav Kei? We know that ultimately Yud Kei Vav Kei is Shema Etzem Shema and Shema Miyuchat Shema Meferish. It goes to the very highest levels. So which level are we talking about when we say Neshamas Yisrael are beyond it? And they are the ones that draw down Shmi. So he says like this: Neshamas Yisrael are the ones that draw down this level of Shmi, of Shem. V'hainu. We're not only talking about Shem Havaya that has a meaning, has an interpretation, which means Shem Havaya at a lower level, irrespective of what the meaning of Shem Havaya is. Whether we're speaking about Yud Kei Vav Kei in the context of the meaning of Mahava, creator. Now, when you say Shem Havaya, the creator, that means Shem Havaya as it is associated with creation, right? But then there is also an explanation of a meaning of Shem Havaya, which means Hoya Hoyve V'Yiyeh. Yud Kei Vav Kei means past, present, and future. Meaning, and they're all wrapped up as one in one word. Shehu L'maylam Menatava, which denotes what? A reference to Shem Havaya as it is beyond nature. So not only at this level are the neshamas of Yidden higher, Ela afilu Shem Havaya Shelamaylam Kol HaPirushim, but even the name of Havaya, of Yud Kei Vav Kei, as it is beyond any interpretations, Ulamaylam in the Kudus, and Shem Yud Kei Vav Kei, even as it is beyond what? Vowelization, which if you go to the very highest levels, you're talking about Shem Havaya as it is before the Tzimtzum, before the first contraction, which means the Eidisof, at its initial point of manifestation. So even all these levels, Hareze B'chinas Shem Belvad, they are all merely the name of Hashem. Merely. I mean, relative to what? to the neshamas. What does it mean, Shem? That it's a name, Shehu Oir V'Gili Min Atzmos. It is a light and a revelation from the essence of Hashem. The implication being that it's something that comes out of, that is emanated from Hashem, from Hashem's essence. It's a revelation from Hashem, but it's not Hashem's essence. And therefore, since it's a name, since it is a revelation, how is it drawn down? How is it manifest? It is the souls of Jews that make it manifest and draw it down. Why? Because because the soul of a Jew is actually rooted within the very essence of Hashem. Therefore, they have the ability to draw down this level of Hashem, this even at the very highest level at the first point. The bottom line, what's the nekuda of all of this? What's the point that I was trying to make? That the neshama of a Jew is rooted at the very first, at the highest level. In some place where there are no levels, meaning to say where in Hashem's very essence, and therefore they have the ability to draw down the idea of Shem, of revelation of Eir, from the very essence of Hashem. Now the Rebbe says he qualifies his position. Yesh Lehavin Inyan. We can bring proof to this that the neshama of a yid is rooted in the very essence of Hashem and even beyond Shem Havaya. Mimash Amru Razal, our sages tell us in Medrash that when Hashem decided to create the world, He consulted. He consulted whether to create the world. With whom? B'min nimlach. With whom did Hashem consult? B'nishmeiseyem shel tzadikim. With the souls of Jews, right? And with the souls of tzadikim, of the righteous. Which means to say, when you consult with someone, they're there. If you remember, we learned in the previous Maimer that what did Hashem create on the sixth day of creation? Man. What did He create? Which part of man? The body. Because the soul already existed, and existed not only from within creation, but existed already from where? From before creation. Right? And over here, what do we say? Hashem consulted with whom? The neshamas of tzaddikim. Whether He should create the world. So it means that the neshamas of tzaddikim already existed in some form, if you will. Form is the wrong word, but in some type of existence, even before the world was before the world was created.
It says He
Hang on a second.
consulted with the angels.
One second. But here we're talking about the neshamas of tzaddikim. Just a second. The hine inyan ha'amlocha. The idea of consulting, what did Hashem consult about? Shayich al gili oir, im yihya gili chulu. Hashem didn't consult about whether He should exist or not. What did He consult about? If you want to go back to the first point, Hashem consulted concerning what? It can only be consultation concerning what? Whether oir should be revealed. Whether Hashem's divine light should be revealed. Now in this oir, when we talk about Ein Sof, right? There are different levels, if you will, of Ein Sof. We're talking before the Tzimtzum. We're talking before the Tzimtzum Erish, the first contraction, right? So there is, if you remember what we learned to Basi Lagani, there's Gili Ha'er Hashayach La'elamis. There's the revelation of the light, of the divine light, as it is associated already with the world. There's the Gili Ha'er. There's the revelation of the light, as it is Shayach, the aspect of that Ein Sof that is related to Hashem. But then there's something called Oir HaKolol Ba'atzmusai. Hashem's divine light, as it is still included in and within Himself. So on which aspect did Hashem consult? So he says over here, this consultation is not only concerning the divine light which Hashem revealed for the purpose of the worlds, right? Which is, for example, the Gilead Shayach La'elamis, right? The lowest aspect of the Eirus of Shalif Netzimtum. But also, the consultation is on the Eir, Ein Sof, as it is related to Hashem, to His essence. And not only that, and even on the Eir, as it is included within His very essence. Also on that Eir, you can say that He consulted the Neshamas of Tzaddikim whether He should reveal it. Why? Since we're talking about Eir, divine light, which is not the very essence of Hashem, it's an emanation from Hashem's very essence. It's already within the mode, even in the finest way, but it's still an idea of revelation. Ulamaila, and above, in the celestial realms, Kol Gili Hu Gili Ritzaini. Every revelation is a discretionary revelation. It's a willful revelation. In other words, it depends on whether he wants to reveal himself or not. When we talk about the sun, for example, the sun has no choice. It's compelled to give out its light. But above, Hashem is not compelled to give out any oir. Hashem is Kol Yachol, he can do whatever he likes. So every revelation is willful, is discretionary. V'chol gili ritzoni yesh bei kavana. And if it's discretionary, then every revelation, a discretionary revelation, has a purpose, has an intention. Ubemele, if it has an intention, shayach b'zeh inyan ha'amlacha, it's already possible to say that he consulted even concerning that divine light. V'kivan sha'amlacha al kol inyan shel gili eir ibn ishvesem shel tzadikim. And since the consultation on every matter of revelation of light, of divine light, is with the souls of tzaddikim, Hashem consulted with the souls of tzaddikim, harei muvan shenishamas Yisrael hem lamayla v'kol inyan shel gili eir. Therefore, it follows that the neshamas of tzaddikim are beyond any revelation of divine light, even the Eir HaKol Batzmusay, the Eir Insof, God's infinite light, as it is included within Himself. V'lachein, kol inyan shel Eir, gam HaKol Batzmusay hu b'chinas Shem b'val gam neshamas Yisrael. Therefore, every revelation of light, even the revelation of Hashem's divine light, as it is included within Himself, is merely considered like a name, as mentioned before. It's Shem, revelation, relative to the souls of Yidden. And how is this Gili Eir, this revelation of light, drawn down and manifest through the souls of Tzaddikim, through the souls of Yidden? Because as we said, Hashem consulted with them concerning the Gili Eir. The consultation that Hashem had with the Malachim was concerning creation of man. Here we're talking about the creation of the whole world. It's of a different order altogether.